What's up, Barnhill family, and welcome back to the channel.
Yo.
So we got the main event this weekend, Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. This is a great fight. I think this is a great fight for Volkanovski's legacy because when you talk about who's been at the top of the heap at 145, you got to throw the Zombie's name in there. And I know there's been some absence due to military service and some injuries and other things, but a feather in Volkanovski's cap and what would really help cement him towards potentially being the greatest 145er of all time is to beat both old and new of the generation at 145, and the Zombie certainly falls into the older OG category.
Yeah, and with the roster that they've got right now, he doesn't really have many more options of the fighters of the past because it's kind of a new gang of fighters that are coming up. You've got the Yair Rodriguez and the Zabits and all the Calvin Caters that are moving in. But, you know, if you can get a couple of those wins against the people that are still in there, like, for instance, Jeremy Stevens is gone now. So,
yeah, Jose Aldo's down at 135.
Right.
Connor's no longer there. So
right.
it really is a unique division. And how you said it's like a lot of the old dogs that were the top guys 5-6 years ago, even more recently than that, have all kind of dispersed either to other weight classes or just are not even in the UFC anymore.
Yeah, and while a lot of people might have thought that Korean Zombie wasn't the prime suspect next for Volkanovski, it makes a lot of sense. I think this is a good fight. Timing-wise, he was the one that was most available and most ready. And, you know, it is nice for us to see as fans a different fight than what we've seen a couple of times over. You know, Max Holloway looked great in those fights against Volkanovski, but the truth of the matter is Volkanovski won both of them. And I was kind of feeling the same as the champ. Like, yeah, I'm down to see that fight again, but let me see a couple of different options first. And I thought there was going to be some of these new guys coming in, and I'm just pleasantly surprised to see Korean Zombie get the shot. I think he deserves it. I think he knows it's probably his last chance at a UFC title. So he's probably going to make it pretty exciting and pretty entertaining for the fans. That being said, I think Volkanovski is the most underrated champion in the UFC right now. I mean, the guy's won, what, 20 fights in a row right now, and he just seems to be unstoppable. His game plan is always bulletproof, and he's able to stick to it every time he goes out there. So I think this is going to be a Volkanovski victory, and still is what we're going to hear at the end of the night.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards a Volkanovski victory and still as well. This is a tailor-made matchup for Volkanovski, in my opinion. Volkanovski's the kind of guy where if you're good everywhere like the Zombie is, you know, you got good hands, you can hold your own on the ground, but you're not a specialist. You come forward and you like to throw a lot of strikes. That is kind of a tailor-made style for Alexander the Great Volkanovski because he is also so good everywhere, and he's proving that he's just a little bit better everywhere than everybody else. And you see the most amount of danger that he's been in quite some time, certainly in the last 20 fights, was against Brian Ortega when he was in that triangle, and then he had to fight out of that guillotine from mount. And very, very few people have been in a mounted guillotine by Brian Ortega and lived to tell the story, you know, so to speak, and ended up getting their hand raised at the end of that contest. You know, that is pretty much all but lights out when somebody like T-City gets a mounted guillotine on you. So that speaks to the tenacity and willpower that Volkanovski possesses. And I'm right in line with you. I think he's one of the best 145ers that the world has ever seen. And Max Holloway, a lot of people think he is the best 145er the world's ever seen. So what do you call the guy that's got 2 victories over him? And I know that second fight was a lot closer than the first, and a lot of people gave that fight to Max, but the reality is he's 2-0 against arguably the best featherweight of all time. I think what it's going to take to beat Volkanovski, and he almost has that air of an undefeated prospect, an undefeated champion, because let's face it, when you've been 20 fights getting your hand raised, that one loss is a distant memory in some small local promotion in Australia that, you know, who knows what the circumstances were. He certainly feels like he is an undefeated champion, and we forgave John Jones as one loss. It's a different set of circumstances, but I feel like after a long time where you're just winning and winning and winning and winning, you almost regain that undefeated air about you, like nobody can touch me, nobody can defeat me. And so I think for those reasons and the fact that the Zombie style is very tailor-made for Volkanovski, that we're going to see a lot of leg kicks, some really good powerful overhands. We may even see Volkanovski get a takedown and work some ground and pound, because I believe his skill set there is also very deep. I'm thinking a finish here. I think the Zombie is so tough. The name is perfect for him, and one of the best walkout songs in all of MMA. He does come forward at you like a zombie. Unfortunately for Chan Sung Jung, I think that's going to play right into Volkanovski's power. And if it weren't for the toughness of the Zombie, I would say first or second round knockout, but I'm going to extend it third or fourth round TKO finish just because of the Zombie's toughness.
Yeah, Zombie's so tough, it's hard to take him out. And I think Volkanovski is willing to stick to his game plan no matter what. Obviously, he's got great power and he can finish fights. But he's not willing to, throw all of his technique out the window just to go get a finish. I think it's going to be a rinse and repeat. He's really good at circling, and when you've got a pressure fighter, that's what you have to do. You can't just move straight backwards or they're going to try to tie you up against the cage. I think what we're going to see is a lot of great leg kicks, a lot of good solid boxing. He's going to catch Zombie on his way in a bunch. And he'll probably look for takedowns at the end of at least a couple of the rounds. And I think he'll get them. He's really good at top pressure, raining down punches, and solidifying top position. So I can see Volkanovski just winning soundly like 4 out of these 5 rounds. But Zombie is so tough that it's very difficult to get him out of there. Volkanovski's probably capable of doing it, but I don't see him straying away from his game plan and to get the knockout or get the submission or anything like that. Chan Sung Jung is a great fighter. He's no jiu-jitsu ace like T-City is on the ground, and he's no striking, phenom exactly like Max Holloway, who, if you said T-City's the best submission artist in the UFC, you have a case there. If you said Max Holloway's the best striker or, best boxer, best striker in the UFC, you at least have an argument there. And he's beaten both of them, and he's gone into their territories and beaten both of them. So I just can't go against Volkanovski. Period. End of story. I think he's going to win this fight, but he's going to go all 5 rounds. 49-46 decision for unanimous decision for Volkanovski.
And I'm going Volkanovski as well by finish, but look for Chan Sung Jung to make this very exciting. He's 35 years old. He and the rest of the world knows this is his last chance at becoming a UFC champion. He's already an exciting fighter. He's going to have just a little bit more fire lit under him because this is the final chance, and I'm expecting a great fight, but I am expecting a Volkanovski finish.
Yeah, with no UFC last weekend, I'm so excited for this card. Yeah, this one's really, really going to be a fun one.
It really is. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Nick and I are both taking Alexander Volkanovski, albeit different ways. Let us know who you're taking in the comments because we love chatting with you there, and we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.